Good afternoon. This is Lion Noel Hardwick coming to you from White Plains, Kentucky. A beautiful sunshiny day here in Western Kentucky. Uh, as I had mentioned last week, this is going to be a weekly, and I want to say a orientation, but it's also going to be an enlightening, I think, a bit of information to a lot of folks maybe that watches this that don't know who lions are, that don't know what we do. And that's I think, one of the projects that I wanted to start because I see a need to make sure that more and more people in our neighborhoods, our counties, understand what we Lions are, who we do, who we help. Because we're always going out into the county and making an impact and a difference in people's lives. Sometimes it's much larger than just local, such as when we had the December 10th tornado that came all the way through Kentucky. And we also had the flood up in East Kentucky. And while we're talking about that, just to show you what we Lions do with a lot of help, this past week, Vice District Governor Steve Pedersen from Tollsboro gave a report about he put out a ask for coats here a couple of months ago, and I think the report was he got 1,400 coats that was donated just in a matter of a few days. Those people up there were living in tents. Some of them didn't have any coats, didn't have any foul weather gear. So again, that shows you what we Lions do. And a lot of times we head up projects asking you for support, asking you for help. So that's who we are. And that's why when I mentioned that we're going to be doing orientation, that we're going to be talking about what we do, I think it's really going to be something that you'll enjoy. I think it'll be very enlightening to a lot of folks. And I hope at a point in time we have a lot of folks consider joining the Lions Club. Great organization. It's the largest service organization in the world, 1.4 million members. We're in 210 countries. So that's something to be proud of. But what we have to do is continually work on bringing new people into the club, also reaching out to the diverse and being diversified. That's one of the areas that we're constantly working on. And just all around seeking to bring in people that has a need or a calling to help. I'm hoping that we can encourage a lot of young people. And I'm talking about students that are in elementary that will be Lions one of these days, students that are in high school. We're starting Leo's clubs all around. And that's a group that are 12 to 18 years old. And we're working with them and developing leaders. And so those are things that we're trying to do. But we also need what I would consider our middle-aged adults that I know their time is extremely tight. When you've got family and you've got work and you've got a lot of other things going on, and those kids, when they got to go to ball games and they've got to go to golf and they got to go to whatever kind of practice, it really does put a crimp on the available time you have. This is what we ask people to do that are Lions. Just do what you can, help when you can, and that'll be enough. And if we can just reach out that way and just touch one or two here and there, you'll see a big difference. We don't want to wear somebody out. We don't want to make it so hard that you get burnt out. Number one, it's a family atmosphere. The Lions Club is a family unit. It's a family atmosphere. And I think that's one of the things we haven't projected enough outwards to the people maybe that doesn't know what we Lions are and what we do. So that's another thing that we're trying to work on, and we got to do a better job of it. Orientation basically was designed to educate new lines and give them an idea of the history of the Lions organization. And I mentioned in last week's program, the Lions was started in 1917. So, we've been around a long time. And we, over that period of time, we have helped millions and millions of people. But that's what I guess Melvin Jones and that group of businessmen sitting around the table discussed when they started the Lions organization. They, like us, were blessed. And you know what? They took that and said, let's do what we can to change our community, our county, state, and make it a better place, to help those in need. And again, as I mentioned from time to time, and you'll be hearing this just about every program, the Lions organization, we don't say we're giving you a handout. We're giving you a hand up. And in most cases, that when you do that, you see a significant impact in everybody that we work with. And it doesn't matter what race, color, creed, religion, it doesn't matter. People that need help need help. And again, I'm always bragging on the Lions because I've been alive a long time. I've seen us do so many things that's, you just expect people to step up and do, but those people have to have a group that will step up and lead, that will take charge, and that will organize, that will plan. And that's one of the things we're good at. And we have some that's a little better than others, but you know what? We're all Lions, we're volunteers. And, we just can do what we can do and use the capabilities that we have. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is one of our past district governors brought up the point the other day about how many people look at our Lions magazine, and some facts that were shocking to me. And there's just a few of them, but I want to go through them right quick. 2.2 billion people have vision impairment or blindness. 2.2 billion. Nearly 1/3 of young teens worldwide have recently experienced bullying. Weather-related disasters have grown more than 50% over the past 40 years. And as I mentioned here, since December 10th of last year, when we had the major tornado that come through, then we had a follow-up in East Kentucky of a flood, 2 major disasters in less than a year here in the state of Kentucky. And so this sort of lets you know again that we're prepared to go out, we're prepared to meet those needs and to be activated almost instantly. And I think that's pretty impressive. When there's a disaster, our people are almost automatically and instantaneously getting ready to go, getting prepared, going out and meeting that need. Each day, 300 people die from measles. Now, we thought measles was something of the past. Well, undoubtedly it's not. 300 people a day. 1 out of 11 people has diabetes. I have diabetes myself. 1 out of 11. 300,000 children aged from 0 to 19 are diagnosed with cancer each year. I want to break away from this just a second. I don't know that you can see this behind me, but what that is, that's a vision screening. The Lions of Kentucky, and there's a lot of other states that does vision screening. 0 to 6, we call kid sight screening. 7 up, we call vision screening. And we check for 6 different kinds of eye disease. And right here it says, well, hold on just a second. I'm trying to pick up where I left off at. There is like 12% of the people that we examine has vision problems. Now, that can be anything from nearsighted, foresighted to tumors and cancers and a lot of different diseases. 1 out of 9 people lacks enough food to be healthy and active. 1 out of 9. By 2025, half of the world's population will live in water-stressed areas. That just gives you a few things that we are looking at down the road. And when I say we, that's coming from the international. But, we are an arm of international. And we look at those things in the ways that what we can do locally as a club, locally as a district. Kentucky's got 2 districts, by the way. District K, which is half of the state, and District Y, which is the other end of the state. And we've got about 3,700 members right now. But we, in our way, are activated to start working on these projects right now. We've got a lot of Lions clubs here in West Kentucky that collects food and takes to the local food banks. We also collect thousands and thousands of pairs of glasses each year. We take them. We've even got a couple of clubs that recycle glasses. What they do, they bring them in, they clean them, they run them through the equipment to put the prescriptions on them. They bag them, put them in a box and mark them. They can go to third world countries and be used in those areas. And we've sent hundreds of thousands of pairs over the past few years. So that's something else we do. And so in a smaller way, we automatically do those things. But the clubs automatically have their own list of projects that they do that benefits their community, benefits their county. And that's what Lions clubs are all about. Lions clubs are made up of a group of members that comes together and says, hey, these are some things that we feel like needs to be done in our county. These are some things we feel like we can do to help our local school systems. Because one of the things we know right now, our future lies with the students that are in kindergarten, that basically are in elementary, that are in high school, that are in community colleges, that are in colleges right now. And it's up to us to be those leaders. It's up to us to be able to share our knowledge, share our experience, and help them get prepared to step up and fill the shoes of those that, and I would like to put myself in that category, that believe in doing everything we can to help and make people's lives better. And we've got our work cut out there. We've got a lot of work cut out, and but we've started, and we're making an impact, and we're making a difference. Another thing that I want to show you, and I mentioned I don't create a script to go by a script. Immediate past president of Lions International, President Douglas Alexander, his theme for the year was, service from the heart, and I don't know that we could pick one better than that. And so that's sort of where I come from. And again, like I mentioned last week, I stumble sometimes and I stutter a little bit, but here's what I want people to see is every day, the Lions around Kentucky and around the world, they're out here working every day to make an impact on people's lives. And I don't think you could ask for anything different than that. But I had a guy the other day, he came up to me and I said, well, have you had any luck recruiting a new member? And his answer was a little bit, it caught me off guard. And he said, well, I've talked to everybody, in my family, everybody I know, and I just can't find nobody. Well, I took him at his word, but I want to show you something. This is something that we got one time from a good friend of mine, and it's called a recruiting wheel, the recruiting wheel. And it just got some different groups and organizations that you could see. Now, I don't know whether you could see that there or not. But it's professional people. It's business associates, church members, your neighbors, your friends, other other special groups and organizations, people that you do business with, the banks, the insurance companies, people that repair your car. Just all the list goes on and on and on. And then your relatives. The Lions organization has a great tradition of family units, and we encourage that. We want that. It's a matter of creating a tradition. We've got a long and storied history. There's no doubt about that. But and like my family, and then my wife has been a Lions member as long as I have. She's been a past district governor. But my son, he's in the Lions Club, and two of my daughters are. And hopefully, as we go, we'll pick up other family members. But it's a matter of asking, and it's a matter of encouraging. Again, I want to get back with this, and I'm closing. When you have an opportunity to help someone, when you have an opportunity to create an atmosphere that makes someone's life better, I think we all have that in us. I think it's all down in our heart to do that. And we just have to step up and do it. We don't need to be timid about it. We don't need to be nervous about stepping up, but we need to step up. And I would like for you to think about looking at where a local Lions Club is and going down and making a visit, seeing what they do, seeing what their projects are. And my door is always open to be your sponsor. So keep that in mind. This is Lion Noel Hardwick, and we'll be talking to you next week. God bless.